All right, this is the isometric stretching session. This is known as the best type of stretching. Get flexible and to get very fast. And again, this is an advanced stretching session, so if you feel any pain at all, or if you feel like it's too much, pull back on this and just focus on these static and dynamic stretching routines until you get strong enough to go into this. But we're gonna go ahead and get started. We're gonna focus on just the main muscle groups here. So we're gonna start off in the side split stretch, get into a comfortable position, where you feel the stretch, but you don't feel any pain. So we're gonna hold here, and we're about to go into the contraction phase, and that's where the magic happens. We're going to hold this light stretch for 10 seconds, and then we're gonna go into the contraction for 10 seconds and then relax again. And so we're gonna go ahead and get into that contraction now. Press those legs into the ground, press as hard as you can, or at least as hard as you can without feeling any pain, and we're going to contract the legs, contract these muscles here, and we're gonna hold here for about 10 seconds. And then we are relaxing. So release that contraction, relax, and then go further into your stretch here. So we're holding here, went down a couple of inches, and we're just holding in this relaxed position for about 10 seconds. Now we're gonna go through several muscle groups here, and then if you want, you can repeat this and do this for several rounds, or a few rounds. So we're going to the next stretch. This is gonna be the lunge stretch or the front split stretch. We're going to hold here, find a good stretching point here. We're gonna get into this lunge. This leg's gonna be a 90-degree angle. The back leg is gonna be straight, and we're going to push our hips into the ground here. So you should feel a light stretch here. Now we're gonna hold in this relaxed position for about 10 seconds, and then when we contract, we're gonna try to bring our knee into the ground and forward. So it's gonna be this motion here. So we're gonna go ahead and contract and hold. And this whole time I'm pushing my leg and trying to make them touch. This leg's shooting forward, this leg's shooting back and into the ground. And we're gonna hold here, feel the contraction here and on the hip, and then relax. Then as you relax, get further and deeper into that stretch here. We're gonna hold here for 10 seconds, and then we'll switch to the opposite leg. Okay, now we're gonna switch, same thing. Holding here, get a nice 90-degree bend with the leg here. We're gonna relax in this stretch. We're gonna hold for about 10 seconds. And we're gonna contract. Try to press those legs into the ground and into each other. The biggest thing is just contracting those muscles so they're tense and they're having to work. So we're holding that contraction, and now we're gonna release. And we're gonna go further and deeper into that stretch here. And we're just gonna hold. We're gonna hold here for about 10 seconds. Okay, now we're gonna go into another stretch here. We're gonna go into the pike stretch. It's a great one as well for the hamstrings. So we're just gonna reach down, grab our legs here, and hold in this relaxed stretch. I'm just gonna hold here, where you feel that stretch. And then when we contract here, we're going to contract the muscles here. We're gonna try to push our heels into the ground to get a nice contraction in the hamstrings here. And we can also just tense up as well. So we're gonna go ahead and contract. We're gonna hold this contraction. Okay, now we're gonna relax and go further into that stretch and just hold here. And really, when you're on that relaxing point, really try to relax as much as you can and get deeper into that stretch. Okay, so we did that stretch. Now we're going for the quads. We're gonna lay on our stomachs here, and we're going to reach, have the opposite leg straight, bend the other leg up and behind you.
We're going to focus on getting the quads here, and we're going to hold in this position for about 10 seconds, and then on the contraction, we're going to try to move our leg, our quad, like move this foot down towards the ground as we contract, but we're going to be holding it with our hand here. So we're going to contract, really try to drive that foot into the ground, but hold it back with that hand. Just going to hold here. And now relax into it, and then pull further with that quad and get a nice stretch here. Try to have that heel go as close to your butt as possible. And then what some people like to do is even lift the leg up to get a further stretch. Okay, now we're going to switch legs, same thing. Grab that ankle, pull the heel towards the butt here. Hold in this relaxed stretch. And then we're going to contract. Try to drive that leg. I notice if I activate the foot, keep the toes pointed or flexed. Sorry, keep the toes flexed here and drive the foot down as you contract. You can get a good contraction here. Okay, and now we're going to relax and pull the quad further into the stretch. And we can lift the leg up if we want to get a further stretch. And we're just holding here. Okay, holding for a few seconds. Okay, now we're going to rest. Now we're going to go for the last contraction or the last isometric exercise, and this is the shoulders. So we can use the side of a table or a chair. I'm just going to use my fingertips here. You put the fingertips on the ground. We're going to lean back into a child's pose. Keep the shoulders and arms. The arms should be extended out as far as possible here. And we're just going to push our chest and sternum into the ground as far as we can here. But that's for the contraction. Right here, we're just going to get in a comfortable position. You should feel a slight stretch here in the shoulders. And holding here. If you don't feel stretch just on the fingertips here, then go to a chair so you can go further and deeper down with the stretch here. But I'm pretty good here. I'm going to hold. We're going to hold here, and then we're going to press our sternum down and contract our shoulders. So we're going to start now, go into the contraction, contract those shoulders, bring the sternum down to the floor, and really hold tight here. And press those fingers down to the ground and towards you. We're going to relax and rest, starting now, and go further into that stretch. Really drive that sternum down further into the ground. Bring those arms up, out in front of you, and just hold here. And we're good. All right, so that wraps up the isometric stretching session. We just focused on those main muscle groups and those handful of stretches. We're going to see some awesome results. Now, what I would recommend is after you get comfortable with just doing one round of these, so you do one contraction for each stretch, I want you to go 2 rounds. So once this gets comfortable, maybe a week or 2 after doing just one round of contractions and stretches like that, repeat this. So after you do your shoulder stretch, go another round and start again on the side split stretch. So, and you can go all the way up to about 3 rounds and then you're good. If you can do 3 rounds of contractions like that, you're going to be very solid, and that's about as far as we want to go. So hope you enjoyed that stretching session. Really implement this one. It's a little bit more advanced, but really implement this one to get those big flexibility gains. So train safe, and I'll see you in the next session.